Finally, I've got some mods on my CFMOTO Ibex 450, and we're going to take a look at them today. All right. Welcome back to Bike Like a Dog. Appreciate you stopping by. Be sure to like and subscribe before you leave today. I'm going to turn this camera just a little bit, just so that'll be more centered. In fact, I'm going to pull it in a little bit. So, as you can see, I'm all about being visible, right? It's getting towards dusk, and therefore I am wearing stuff to help make me visible. Now I got some on my bike that's going to make me visible. These two lights right here, I got these from Cyclops Adventure. These are called Scheme P3 DTS lights. All right, so these lights from Cyclops Adventure, the Scheme P3 DTS lights, I will put a link to them in the description. However, I'm also going to put a link to a video from Dork in the Road, where he has the guys from Cyclops installing not just some P3 lights, or it's the P3 TS model. It doesn't have the D in it. But they're also replacing his turn signals and putting some aux lights on it. So they cover a lot of stuff, like the fact that the left turn signal wire is orange, the right turn signal wire is blue, the brake light is green with a white stripe. These are things you need to know, obviously, that are unique to the bike. But that's a really good video, and at least when I checked a day or two ago, he had a 10% off code that you could put into their website for 10% off of whatever you bought from Cyclops Adventure. So I would go ahead and use it sooner rather than later. I don't know how, it's been almost a month since he put that video out, so I would jump on that as quickly as possible. Anyway, let's talk about these P3 DTS. I don't know what they are. Let's turn on the bike. Take it out of first gear and start it up. Now, there's a delay there. I'm going to explain that in a minute, all right? There we go. These lights, what you're seeing now is standard on the P3 light, just the standard P3 light, no DTS, no, none of that, just a P3. It's on all the time. Now, on the video, it probably looks like it's kind of flashing like this or something, but in reality, it's a constant shimmer, all right? What that's doing is it's pulling you out. If you're up against a wall of people, a wall of brake lights or something like that, this is going to make people see you and focus in on you because it pulls everybody's eye to you. It's actually a little irritating. And the closer you are and the more directly behind it you are, the more it pulls your eye. So that's a good thing. The other thing it does is it mirrors the brake. Watch this. Boom! You see that? Is that cool or what? Now, when I was in the MSF course, they taught us, hey, whenever you're stopping, tap your brake lever, right? Tap it a few times. Let the people behind you know you're about to stop. Make sure that, wake them up. Well, now I don't have to tap anymore because all I have to do is put on my brake and it automatically flashes for me. By the way, that's programmable. So is the shimmer. That's all programmable. You can turn it completely off if you want to. But you can change the flashing patterns and everything else. All right, so that's the standard P3 light. In and of itself, that's a good deal. Helps make you visible. Increases your visibility from somebody seeing just this to somebody now seeing all of this, right? Plus it does that flash for you. But remember I said that Dork in the Road was putting on the P3 TS. TS stands for turn signal. ta-da! Look at that. It mirrors your turn signal on both sides, which of course also means that it does your emergency flashers, right? That's going to make you pretty visible. That's pretty good. Now, the tough lights that he was doing, the turn signals that he was putting on from Cyclops, do the same thing, which is really makes you visible. If I ever break these off, I'll probably put some of those on. But right now, I'm limited in funds and time and everything else, right? Let's face it, none of us have all the money and all the time and everything to do everything we want on our motorcycles. And there's a limit to what you can do on a bike anyway. So for those of you that only stop by because you want to see stuff on this bike, on the Ibex 450, there's going to come a time when I'm going to run out of stuff to do. So appreciate you stopping by. Like and subscribe. But yeah, there will come a time where we can't do I'll be done. But for now, you're wondering what the D is for. I got the P3 DTS. The D stands for Decelerometer. And if you've ever seen one of these, a brake-free, which unfortunately this one's out of charge right now, or I'd turn it on and show you. This goes on the back of your helmet, and I'm going to put this on the back of my street helmet. There goes some deer. I'll put this on the back of my street helmet. On the trails, I'm not as worried about it because I don't have as many cars behind me on the trail. But on the street, yeah, absolutely. What it does is, and I can demonstrate it with this even though the battery's dead. What happens is, oh wait, maybe the battery's not dead. Cool. So what this does is, whenever you're moving along and stop, you see that? You're driving along and you stop. Come on. Do it, do it, do it. All right. I'm riding. It's cool, and bam. Okay. Anyway, what it's supposed to do, it may be a little dead. There we go. Is it flashes like that, right? You see that? It's got a decelerometer in there. So whenever you're on the motorcycle and you downshift, or you roll off the throttle, or something like that, and this thing's going to flash. So do these. All right? It's a little harder for me to demonstrate on the motorcycle without riding around, but that's what that does. So again, I'm going to turn this off right quick. So again, what I've got now is I've got these lights that mirror my brakes, and no matter how I'm stopping, whether I'm using brakes, I'm just rolling off the throttle, or I'm downshifting, doesn't matter. Anything that's slowing me down, these things are going to flash. And they're going to let the people behind me know, hey, this motorcycle in front of you is slowing down. That's huge. Will I use it in addition to the brake-free? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? It's not an either-or thing. This stuff is additive, all right? Every time we add a layer of safety, we don't replace one layer of safety with another one. We layer them up. You want to be as visible as possible, and I don't even have to think about this. And that's probably the best part. When I'm stopping, I don't have to think about, is there a car behind me? If I roll off the throttle, do I need to tap my brakes? If I downshift, do I need to tap my brakes? If I'm going to brake, do I need to tap my brakes? Because I need to start doing that before I actually start braking. I mean, right? We start using up our mental capacity just worrying about what we're going to do with our brake lights instead of concentrating on, is that freaking car going to pull out in front of me? Right? And that's where our attention really needs to be. So, very excited about these. Make sure you take a look at that link. It's awesome. Another thing that I put on the bike that I am not going to show you, I will put another link in the description to a video, a YouTube video about it, is the Thunderbox. Now, if you've never heard of a Thunderbox, the Thunderbox is a power box. It's very simple to hook up. Positive wire goes to the red terminal on your battery. Black negative wire goes to the negative terminal on your battery. Done. Peel off the sticker and stick it in, you know. Simple installation. But there's a Thunderbox 1 and a Thunderbox 2. The Thunderbox 1 provides 4 taps. All right, so you could put 4 different things in there. I have my skiing lights going into one of those taps. That's why when I turn off the bike, it takes it a minute to decide, oh, the bike's not running. Oh, wait, the bike's not running, so I'm going to turn it off. Now, there it goes. And it's going to leave it off. Now, watch this. When I key on, it doesn't come on. It's not on because the Thunderbox recognizes that, yeah, the key is on, but the bike's not running. Then once it senses that the bike is running, it keeps monitoring that charge on the battery, and it goes, oh, bike's running. Boom, there's the charge. Because I don't need these skiing lights running if the bike's not running. I don't need heated hand grips running or on if the bike's not running. The same thing for a charger for my phone, or a GPS unit, or a CarPlay unit, or maybe I want a pigtail for some heated gear that I'd be wearing, or, you know, fill in the blank. My gosh, how many things do we have power taps for, right? Maybe you want a battery charger for all of your cameras and stuff. The point is, most of that I just described is not stuff that you need running at key on, right? You don't need that running until you start up the bike, which means that you're not draining your battery as soon as you turn that key on. I'm going to put some auxiliary lights on the bike. You know what they're going to be plugged into? The Thunderbox. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I don't need those lights. If I need those lights, I'll start the bike. But if I don't need the lights, then I don't need them to come on when I key on. It's just draining battery that I could be using to start the motorcycle, right? How much stuff do you get on there before you start having so much drain on your power system that you can't start your motorcycle? The other thing is, it keeps you from making Swiss cheese out of all your cables. I mean, if I had to, all that stuff that I just listed, if I had to tap into a power cable for every one of those things, that thing's going to look like Swiss cheese. I'm going to have so many taps in that one line that it's going to make it really not as weather resistant, let's say. And on an adventure bike where you're like going through water crossings, yeah, you might want to minimize the number of taps you're putting on those things, right? Okay. Like I said, link in the description both to the Thunderbox and to the video about, there's one guy that actually installed one where he puts a trickle charger on his bike. And if you do that, you know, he was sharing some things that don't make any difference to me. I live in Georgia. We can ride 365 a year. If it's below 0 today, then I don't ride today. 2 days from now, I'll go out when it's 50 again. You know, I mean, that's kind of, and if I don't like 50, I'll wait a week and it'll be 70. So that's just kind of the way it is. Now, here are some other a couple other noticeable changes is, ta-da! Yeah, my tank protectors. I bought these off of Amazon. All right. Now, I'll put a link to Amazon to where I got them. Also a link to a good video for putting them on. One of the things that I recommend is that you do the low piece first and then line everything else up. The reason I recommend that is because there's less, this is a closer fit than the other stuff. I mean, this one, you can move it up here, you can move that down. I mean, there's a lot of places you can move that. But that one, yeah, it's pretty tight, the amount of space that you have to put it in. And once you have it there, then you can line everything else up. Now, underneath this bag, by the way, do you like my nice CFMOTO tank bag? Yes, this is the one from CFMOTO themselves. Ta-da. I've had it since 2 weeks after I bought the bike. I haven't had it on because I wanted to put a tank protector on first. The reason is we ride off-road. We ride on sand and dirt and all that stuff. And however I get this down, there's going to be sand and grit to get underneath that bag. So I wanted a tank protector under there to kind of help protect the paint, right? Now, on this set of decals, it says MT on it, on the center one. Do I care that that center one says MT on it? I do not. You can't even see it. So it is a 450. So I'm good on that. Now, one thing is, I understand there is a version 1 and version 2 of this set of tank protectors. This is the version 1. And the reason I know that is because this is a yellow stripe, which really points out that this isn't a yellow stripe. This is actually kind of a pale green stripe. And I've seen one where they had the version 2, and the stripe matches it perfectly. So I'll put a link to the one that I bought. You might want to kind of look and see if you can find the version 2 instead of the version 1. All right, what I did not get put on this week, my aux lights. The reason was that they're Denali DL2 lights, and they come with this bar to install, which you can't put on there if you've got these tank protectors. I'm going to turn this off right quick, if that's okay with everybody else. So you can't put them on there if you got the upper engine guard on. And I was like, what the heck's going on? I mean, I see it in the pictures. I actually go to the CFMOTO site for the Ibex 450 and do the build and customize. And I selected the bars and I selected the auxiliary lights. And I'm like, look, there's the picture. There it is. And then I zoomed in on, I was like, oh, it has a ring mount, not the flat bar. But the kit, which it's a CFMOTO kit, it is the kit from CFMOTO, and doesn't have the ring mounts. So I had to go to the Denali website, order the ring mounts. They just came in, so hopefully in about the next week or so, I'll be able to get those auxiliary lights on, and that'll be cool. All right, well that's about all. That's really about all I got this week. All right, so. Y'all, like and subscribe. I will be having some other mods coming soon, but I also understand that some of you are only here for the bike. And I will tell you right now that my videos are probably going to be coming, even though this is the bike I'll be riding, or at least most of the time. I do have a trip coming up in July, where I'm going somewhere where they're going to have a bunch of different demo bikes. So I'm hoping I'll be able to make some videos from some of those. But anytime I'm out riding, I'm probably going to be on this bike, but that doesn't mean the video will be about this bike, because I'm getting close to getting it modded out to where I want it. I got the auxiliary lights to go. I do want to put a GPS on it and a dash cam. But beyond that, that's about it. And quite frankly, it's probably going to be a while before I do that. In fact, I may not even do that until like August or something. Maybe longer than that, because in August I am supposed to be having knee replacement surgery. So, yeah, I'm not going to have a lot of content. I'll be using some refurbished, some rides that I've recorded, but I haven't had anything to talk about, and I'll just use those as background for some of those sections. Why am I talking about this? I don't know. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate you spending the time and stopping by and enjoying my bike with me, because part of the joy of having any motorcycle or anything else that you're passionate about is having people to share it with. You're my people to share it with. You know, wife's not interested, daughter's not interested, son's interested in street bikes and upgrading to, you know, ZX6R and everything. So I'm the only one in the family that likes the ADV bike. So you're my people. And I do thank you for stopping by. Appreciate your time. Everybody be safe out there. Enjoy this weather. We're coming into spring here in the United States. Get out and ride. If you're not in the U.S., you're in the southern hemisphere. I know that, you know, it's the beginning of June now, which means that, you know, you guys are probably getting out of your riding season and everything. So tune in to some other YouTube videos from people like me, from Dork in the Road, Chase on Two Wheels, Big Rock Moto, and so many others that are making content that are out riding now while you can't be. Enjoy the rides that we can share with you. And then come winter, we'll enjoy the rides that you can share with us. All right. Thanks a lot, y'all. Have a great week. So long.